You know that feeling when you're setting up a new bar for a friend's opening night and you stare at the ice bin, wondering if the little countertop model you've been using will actually keep up with a crowd that's ordering drinks every minute? I've been there, juggling a handful of ice trays while the line grows, and the last thing you want is to be the person who says, "Sorry, we're out of ice." That's why I dug into the world of commercial ice makers before I even thought about pulling the trigger on a purchase. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The 400 pound per day ice maker promises a serious upgrade, but the real question is whether that promise translates into everyday reliability for a bustling bar, a busy CAF, or a small catering operation. The first thing I considered was the actual volume you need. A venue that serves 150 drinks an hour can burn through a few hundred pounds of ice in a single shift. The 400 pound daily output means the machine can keep pace without you having to run it non-stop, and the 250 pound insulated storage bin gives you more than 8 hours of ice on tap, even if the power ever flickers. Installation is often the hidden cost with commercial gear. The 400 comes with a 4-step guide that walks you through positioning, hooking up the water line, and connecting the power. The biggest surprise for me was how the included accessories like the stainless steel drip tray and the flexible water inlet actually cut down the setup time to under an hour for someone with basic plumbing skills. That matters because you won't be stuck waiting for a technician to finish a job that should be a weekend project. Fast ice production is where the machine shines. In tests, it consistently drops a full batch of 132 cubes in about 10 minutes, which is the sweet spot for a bar that needs a constant supply for highball glasses or a coffee shop that runs a daily iced latte rush. The LCD touchscreen lets you tweak the ice thickness on the fly, so you can switch from thin cubes for mixed drinks to thicker chunks for whiskey on the rocks without a separate unit. That level of control is something you rarely see in entry-level commercial models. Durability is a big selling point. The stainless steel exterior isn't just for looks, it resists the inevitable splashes and spills that happen when you're serving a packed house. Over the course of a week of heavy use, the surface stayed spotless and didn't show any signs of corrosion, even though the machine runs on a warm kitchen floor. The self-cleaning cycle also removes the need for you to pull the unit apart for routine maintenance, a small but meaningful time saver when you're juggling back-of-house duties. Now, let's talk about the trade-offs. The unit is sizable. The storage bin alone is roughly the size of a small refrigerator, and it needs a clear space for air-cooled ventilation. If you're running a tiny coffee kiosk or a boutique bakery with limited floor space, fitting this machine could feel like trying to park a truck in a compact lot. It also draws a fair amount of power, something to keep in mind if your venue has an older electrical panel. The noise level is moderate audible but not disruptive yet. In a quiet cocktail lounge it could become noticeable during off-peak hours. Who should definitely consider this ice maker? First, any bar or nightclub that sees a high volume of cocktails and needs a reliable, on-demand supply of ice without constantly refilling a bin. Second, catering businesses that run multiple events a week and need to transport ice. The large insulated bin means you can load up and head out without worrying about the ice melting before you get to the venue. Third, a CAF that serves a steady stream of iced coffees, cold brews, and smoothies, especially if you've been juggling several smaller machines that keep breaking down. On the flip side, if you're a home entertainer who only throws occasional parties, this machine is overkill. The price point, the space it occupies, and the power draw make it a poor fit for anyone whose ice needs are sporadic. Small boutique eateries with a limited menu of hot drinks will also find the bulk storage unnecessary. A countertop model would be more cost-effective and easier to integrate into a cramped prep area. Another practical consideration is the water quality. The unit uses a standard waterline connection, which is fine if you have filtered municipal water, but if your supply is hard or has a high mineral content, you might notice a slight cloudiness on the cubes after a few weeks. The built-in self-cleaning cycle mitigates this, but you'll still want to schedule a periodic manual cleaning if you're in an area with hard water. It's a small maintenance task, but one that can slip through the cracks if you're not diligent. Overall, the 400 pound ice maker delivers on the headline numbers in a way that feels tangible on the floor of a busy establishment. The fast cycle.